Today we're going to do a class on improving blood flow to the pelvic area. This was originally inspired by a seminar that I took from Tiffany Cruikshank in Yoga Medicine about doing yoga poses for females' reproductive and menstrual cycles. And then some of my guy friends got jealous. They wanted to be included as well. So now mostly what we're going to do is improving circulation, and there are, like I said before, there are some poses that you can do depending on the time of the month. However, we're going to do an all-around improving circulation and releasing blockages in that area so that you got nutrients and healing mechanisms flowing all the time. And for guys, if you are super jealous and want to be included, unfortunately your cycle is every day, so you've now committed to daily yoga, which is just the best. But anyway, so for today's class it will be a little bit easier, and like I said, we're doing compression and release and some stretches and opening. You will need a block, or you could also use your towel for this. So just gonna squeeze it between our legs, and then a towel or blanket. And actually, something thicker will be more helpful, unless you're super open and you can really just fold in and compress and release. But I thought that the bigger roll felt a little bit better. So we'll go ahead and settle in first, starting on your back, and come with your soles of your feet together, knees wide, palms facing the ceiling in an open and receptive position. And then just go ahead and start to let go of whatever is going on with you right now. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it. We're just going to be present and here in this position. And invite relaxation into your body, into all parts of it. We're not holding on to anything, not protecting anything. Imagine already as if all of your blood can flow through your body, totally at ease. Nowhere is it stopped up. It's continuous movement of your energy flow. And pay attention to your breath here as well. Letting your inhales and exhales each become a little bit longer. Inviting calmness and relaxation into your body. Allowing your tissues to settle. Using those deep, slow breaths to calm your mind. And just be here. Notice your toes, notice your feet, notice your ankles, notice your knees. Notice your thighs. Notice your hips. Notice your belly. Notice your ribs. Notice your chest. Notice your spine. Notice your fingers. Notice your hands. Notice your wrists. Notice your elbows. Notice your shoulders. Notice your neck. Notice your face, your eyes, your nose, your mouth. Notice your scalp. And just by bringing awareness to all of your body parts, you're incorporating all of them into your existence and your energy flow, connecting them all with awareness. Two more slow breaths here. And then go ahead and gently use your hands to close your knees and bring your knees in towards your chest, hugging your arms around your shins, So you can already start to build some compression in your hips there. Give a nice good squeeze. So you really start to feel a little bit of sensation as your body's kind of having to work to continue a smooth blood flow. And then from here, go ahead and release your left leg and continue to pull your right knee in towards your chest. And see if you get a nice deep hug, pushing your knee up towards your right shoulder, up towards your armpit. And then you can also move it in towards the center, changing the angle of the compression a little bit. You can just move it side to side. So at the same time as you're compressing some areas, you're releasing the others. Just noticing if some of the spots feel good to you and maybe some feel a little more intense. Just taking it in as information about your body, participating in this self-exploration. And then we'll go ahead and open up the hip a little bit. So you can use your towel if you have tight hips or if you have a strap. We'll go ahead and we'll do a hamstring stretch, or you can hold on to your calf, either one. And then here we're compressing the front of the hip and opening the back of the hip. And pushing at a nice, pulling, positioning yourself at a nice 70% effort so that you have some sensation, but not so much that those tissues constrict. Giving it a good wake-up call, but with a nice, tender, loving touch. And then we'll go ahead and take this leg out into your B position. You can also bend the knee if that's more comfortable for you, or you can keep the leg straight. I'm using the left leg to ground down to keep you from tipping all the way over. But again, we're just opening things up and bringing a lot of sensation to the area, remove blockages. So doing these types of postures on a regular basis, for people who do have a lot of symptoms around that time of the month or anytime, this can help hopefully relieve those symptoms. It might take several cycles to notice anything. All right, and then go ahead and bring your leg back up towards center and cross it over. Again, you can bend the knee if you like, which I'm going to do for furniture's sake, or you can keep the leg straight. But doing these postures on a regular basis will regularly improve the blood flow to all of your tissues, and bringing all the healing guys there should help to improve some symptoms that might be caused by blockages and stagnation. Although it might take a while to see improvement, so you do have to be dedicated, but it definitely can help. And then bring that right knee back in towards center. Bring your left knee in to meet your right. Give it a nice good hug, and extend your right leg out, keeping your left knee in. And go ahead and give that good nice tug up towards your left shoulder. And then we can also rotate the knee in towards the more of the midline, and then kind of sideways back and forth so that you can feel a difference in the angles depending on which way the knee is going. And also by improving all your blood flow to the pelvic area, it should just improve the vitality of all the organs that live there. So even if you don't have any symptoms and you feel like you're a good, healthy, normal baseline, it's just like anything, like good skincare to your face is with good blood flow. And so improving the blood flow to any of these areas will definitely help, and help delay the time when maybe you would get symptoms, right? You know, none of us are going to last forever. Something's going to get you. So the longer you can keep the healthy blood flowing, better. And then go ahead and again, use your strap if you need to, but we'll go ahead and come for the long hamstring stretch, or you can hold on to your calf, whatever is easiest for you. Again, as long as you're just coming into an area where the front of the hip is compressed and the back of the hip is stretching, just getting things nice and moving. Hopefully you're keeping your breath going while I'm talking. I'm not maintaining my breath work, but hopefully you guys are continuing those long, slow breaths that invite calm too. And so a sense of calm can also help reduce inflammation, which can cause constriction and blockages as well. And then go ahead and bring it out to that B position. Looks like I'm safe for my furniture today. So getting a nice external rotation in that hip. And using your breath to calm down any sensations that you might be having. Knowing that yoga is all about a mind-body connection. So it's really just getting to know your body and understand your body. So that when it's talking to you and giving you feedback, you're able to listen. Whereas I know often, we're so caught up in our daily world and all the information coming at us that sometimes it's hard to read the information that's close to home, your own body. And then go ahead and take that leg out and across your body for a twist. You can keep that knee bent if you like, or keeping your leg straight. Just stimulating all those tissues. So yoga is all about slowing down and seeing what's going on with your own body and where you're, which things are tight, which things feel more flexible, and maybe that's due to some different movement patterns that you have. Through yoga, we can maybe, you could dive into some of those movement patterns and maybe get them a little bit more balanced so that you aren't putting all of the stress of a movement on one area and causing it to be tight. With each breath, hopefully, find a little more relaxation. And then bring that left knee in towards center and bring your right knee in towards center. One more squeeze. And then go ahead and roll up to a seat. Any comfortable seat. If you want to sit on your block, you can go ahead and do that. And we'll start with a gentle spinal twist. So twisting over to the right, you can plant your right hand behind you and use the tension from your left hand to get a nice twist. And try to think of it as like your pelvis is like a jar, and the top of you is like the top half. So you want to try to keep your pelvis, you're twisting off the top. So keep your pelvis right in place and see if you can think of the top half as trying to twist off. So you don't move your hips with your twist and just end up rotating on your mat. And then go ahead and twist the other way. So right hand on your knee and left hand behind you. So that most of that twist comes from your lower spine there. And then come back towards center and put both of your hands on your knees. We're going to do some barrel rolls from a seated position. So now you want to think of your pelvis as being the jar, and then kind of like your spine is something that's twisting the jar. So we'll just rotate. You could start either any way you want. We'll do the other side. And again, trying to keep your hips in line while rotating your spine. You can start small, and as you get the hang of it, make slightly bigger circles. Again, just paying attention to what it feels like in each little degree of the circle, I suppose. Notice where you feel stickier and where you feel. And then go the other direction. And again, trying to get a lot of movement from your lower spine. It can be easy to rock the shoulders around and not get that, but sit down that lower spine. And after that, we'll come and retwist. So good, twist over towards the right, left hand on your knee. Spine is long and tall. Keeping your hips planted so that all the rotation comes from the lower abdomen and a little from the upper abdomen, and on your next exhale, twist the other direction. And come back towards center. For our next pose, go ahead and grab your block, and you can do this either kneeling or standing. If you're gonna kneel, I actually like that better. I felt like it was easier to focus on the pelvis. Go ahead and take your block the skinnier way and stick it between your legs, and then go ahead and squeeze it with your thighs so that you're really stimulating the muscle in that area. And you can go ahead and squeeze and then relax the squeeze and fold forward so that you're bringing compression into your pelvis. And then go ahead and come back to stand and squeeze. And then exhale, release and fold. And then in your inhale, rise and squeeze. Exhale, release and fold. And you can move more quickly or more slowly. It really feel your own body rhythm, whatever it's asking for. Probably depends on the strength of your thigh contraction. And fold. And also just tuning into your breath. So really helping to sync up the brain and the body as they move together and in sync with your own flow. And we'll go ahead and take 3 more. 2, 1 more. 3. All right, you can go ahead and get rid of your block for now. And we'll go ahead and come into a long lunge position. So we'll start with the right foot forward and back toes can be tucked or untucked. And first go ahead and sink into your hips a little bit there. Kind of pulse in and out a little bit to find your sweet spot. And when you found a spot that has good sensation but is also still comfortable, we'll go ahead and come into a twist. So taking your left elbow to your right knee. And go ahead and then use the strength of your arms to help roll your spine and your chest open. And again, focusing on not letting your hips splay too much like that. Trying to keep them in line so that you really get, so that that twist is kind of wringing out those hip muscles here. And then coming back to your breath, while your body's working to balance and stretch and stay calm under the sensation. Use your breath to guide your body and remind it that it's still safe and this is okay. This is a great place for these tissues to just open up. And go ahead and release the twist and heel toe your right foot over to the left and dropping that right knee down so that you're in a pigeon pose. And go ahead and find a pigeon angle that's comfortable for you. It doesn't have to be too intense. But what we're going to do is take your towel or blanket and stick that in your hip there so that when you fold forward, there's a lot of extra compression into that hip. So then you'll be having a stretch and the extra compression. And go ahead and play around and find a spot that's good for you. Again, you want to feel like you're at 70% sensation work. Not at your maximum, but testing the limits. It's just like anything in life, if you do something that's really far outside of your comfort zone, it feels scary and terrifying. And if you do something that's only a little bit outside of your comfort zone, it often feels much more manageable, something you can take on. So it's the same thing with the body. If you go too far, it feels scary, but if you stay just outside of your comfort zone, it's much more manageable, and you'll find that you can take the leap with a lot more confidence. Your body will take it with more confidence too and be open to that. And you can go ahead and rest your head down if you like. Sending relaxing thoughts to that hip. Inviting it to open. And then go ahead and raise yourself back up and roll onto that right butt cheek. And you can go ahead and set your blanket off to the side and bring your left foot back around. And we'll come back into our reclined Baddha Konasana, bound angle. So soles of your feet together, knees wide, and you can go ahead and lay back. So after we brought all that compression and twisting to the right hip, we'll now let it be wide open, fully relaxed. Again, palms up for receptive energy. As your body wants to receive all this healing that you're bringing to it. You're open to feeling better. You're on that path. You're here today doing this. This is who you are. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. All right, and then go ahead and roll yourself back up, and we'll do the same sequence on the left side. So however you'd like to manage your way into the lunge with left foot forward, go ahead and do that. And again, pulse your hips a little bit here to find your sweet spot. Open up anything that's a little bit tight. Just lubricate those joints a little bit. And when you found you're good, 70%, go ahead and take your right elbow to your left knee. Palms of your hands together to use the strength of your own body to create tension and torque. I guess torque is a little bit of a strong word, but by rotating it with a little bit of pressure, you can feel the energy sensation there. So notice that. My right hip flexor is normally pretty tight, and from an old injury, and I can already feel it opening up. So it's getting longer in the stretch as we speak. And then go ahead on your exhale, release your hands down to the ground. Heel toe that left foot over to the other side, and coming into your 70% pigeon, and bring your towel or rolled up blanket, and go ahead and just wiggle that into that hip joint wherever you can get it. And go ahead and relax on down. Or invite relaxation. If you don't feel relaxed right now, that's totally okay. But invite relaxation and use your breath to calm down all of the tissues. Slow inhales, slow exhales. And all is good, all is well. Your blood is flowing, your body is turned on. That's why it's talking to you with these hip stretches. It has things to tell you, and now is the time to listen and build that relationship. Just settle in. Knowing that whenever things are difficult or they feel hard, it's a time of growth and change. And when you come out on the other side, you might be in a different place. Things will feel different, they could look different. What you believe is possible could be different. Even if we're just talking about the openness of your hips or the health of your organs, maybe it seems inconsequential to you, but those could really last you a long time and bring you a lot of benefit. So just enjoy and celebrate this work that we're doing. And go ahead and rise on up, roll into your left butt cheek, and we'll go ahead and put the towel away. We should be done with that. And bring your right leg forward And then again, heels of your feet together, knees wide, palms facing the ceiling. Go ahead and come into that Supta Baddha Konasana. And notice here if maybe it's a little bit more open than when we started class. Already your hips feel a little bit more relaxed. All that blood flow. All right, we're gonna go ahead and sit on up and go ahead and make your way back into a twisting lunge with your right foot forward. We're gonna do a similar sequence, but a little bit different. So go ahead and maybe you find yourself in a little bit of a deeper low lunge and come back into that twist. Keeping your hips angled towards the front of your mat and let all the rotation come from that lower spine. Bringing pressure into all those lower pelvic organs, redirecting the blood flow on new paths. A cool thing about your body too is that you can grow, you're constantly growing, in fact, new veins and blood vessels. It's called angiogenesis, and your body can do it for almost anything. That's why like you can grow more parts of your liver and whatnot, is that if your body recognizes that you need more blood flow somewhere, it will just grow a new vein or a new artery. So by stimulating all of this, you can actively tell your body to send more blood and nutrients and oxygen. And go ahead and bring your hands down to the ground. Heel toe your foot back over to the left side, dropping back into pigeon. But this time we're going to stay upright. So bringing a different sort of sensation to the hip. And again, find your 70%, whether that means changing the angle of your shin to the mat, or if you want to place a support underneath your butt cheek. It's really up to you how you want to do that. Just find a place where you can start to settle in, where you definitely feel it, you know something's happening, but you don't feel like you're about to have your leg fall off. Or maybe you do, but you know you have at least a few minutes before it's going to fall off. You can hang out there too. And keeping your torso angled towards the front of your mat. Hips might want to twist it out. And coming back to your breath, like always in tough poses. Use the breath to remind your brain to stay in a state of calmness, even when it wants to panic. Big, full breaths that really illuminate the oxygen flow to your whole body. Big, full breaths that remind each and every one of your cells that they have a fresh delivery of oxygen on the way. Take 3 more breaths here. And go ahead and roll onto your right butt cheek and bring the left leg forward, back into our Baddha Konasana pose. And just relax. Everything is externally rotated, full blood flow. Enjoy the peacefulness of this moment. All right, and then go ahead and come back up into seat, and we'll take our twist on the other side. So left foot forward, and go ahead and pulse and find your spot. Hopefully your hips are a little bit more open, and come back into your twist. So right arm, left knee. Sometimes with each breath you can inhale, and on an exhale find a little bit more softness in your body. And go ahead and drop your hands down to the mat. Heel toe that foot over to the right side of your mat, dropping your knee. And coming into our proud pigeon, I think they call it. So you stay upright in your 70% spot, on a spot where you can be comfortable. Whether putting something underneath your bum, closing the angle of your shin so that your foot is closer to your pelvis will make it easier. And then stand up tall and proud. And using your arms to keep your torso going in forward alignment. So I know the tension on the hips will make you want to relax out of it, but stay tall, stay proud, proud pigeon. Get all the snacks on the street, proudest pigeon. Two more breaths upright here. And relax back onto your left butt cheek. Right leg forward. One more time in our Supta Baddha Konasana to complete the series. One big breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. And then we'll come into a little bit of lower spine flexion and extension. So we can go ahead and start since we're already on our back. Take your feet about hip width apart with your knees bent. We're just coming into bridge pose, so heels close to your bum if you like, but you also don't need to. And then we'll go ahead and push through the heels of your feet using your hamstrings and to come into a nice bridge pose. Get all that extension through your spine. Hold it for a couple breaths. And then go ahead and roll down. If you can roll down one vertebrae at a time, that's great. If not, no problem. And go ahead and extend your legs and come up into a seat. And we're going into Paschimottanasana. So sit here with your spine tall and then gently walk yourself forward with your chest still coming towards your toes so that you get all of the movement down here in your lower torso and not just from rounding your upper spine. So when you come into this pose, you can use your towel, whatnot, to hold onto your feet if that's tough for you, but you want to make sure that your heart and your head and your chest are all still facing forward. We don't want any of this. No turtle shells. Again, you're proud, always a proud warrior in yoga. Always a proud warrior. Chest forward, heart forward. And then we're going to come back and forth between these two poses. You can go at your own rate if you like, or I'll continue to guide you. So coming back onto your back, heels back towards your bum, knees bent, and go ahead and push up into your bridge pose. Using the strength of your legs to get your hips up into the air, wherever it feels good for you. Again, we're all about stimulating blood flow here. There's no prize for the deepest pose. We're just trying to get things moving and flowing. And go ahead and drop your bum, extend your legs and come up into a seat. And then walk yourself forward, chest first, grabbing onto your feet or your towel. And once you have your pose, take a nice settling breath to bring your mind and body into this moment. And then go ahead and release and make your way back onto your back for another bridge pose. So feet planted, hips rise. And another settling breath once you get there. And then drop your bum, sit up, one more Paschimottanasana. Walk yourself forward, chest forward. All right, and so those are all of the healing postures, I suppose, for blood flow. But I'm always kind of about a peak posture person. It's fun to work towards something. So if you want to do that with me, we will do fish pose, Matsyasana. If you don't, you can go ahead and come into a Shavasana. You could do legs up the wall to bring all that blood flow and lymph out of your legs. You could do a shoulder stand. You could go back to Baddha Konasana. But since we did all those hip work, I think in Matsyasana, you can take with your legs straight. You can just take them with your legs crossed. Traditionally, it's taken with lotus, so I'll walk into that since we did all that hip opening. And so first you got to come into your lotus, and then hands right underneath your bum, and lean yourself back so you're on your elbows, and then let your head fall towards the ground. It's a big throat opener. And then scoot back until your head hits the ground. And you can use your elbows to puff up your chest. And your hips are wide open. So again, we did all that hip opening, spine opening. And take a couple breaths in your fish pose. And it's getting a little intense for me. My legs are wiggling their way out of it. So that's that. And then go ahead and, of course, take a little bit of a resting pose, whether you're already there. Just invite calmness into your body. Calmness inside is also the best of preventing inflammation, which is what causes many, many problems. So we're always taking time to rest. Everything is good. This moment has everything you need. Setting a nice, slow breathing rhythm that hopefully you can carry with you after this practice. And go ahead and stay where you are. Bring your hands together in front of your third eye. And I want to say thank you so much for sharing this moment in time and space, since you're watching it at a different time than I recorded it. But we're all connected. These are the things that bring us together. Create this beautiful life. Thank you for sharing these moments with me. Namaste.